Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Learn With Me. I'm Deborah Hanson, and today we're going to look at AP Human Geography 2.3 Population Composition. On this slide, you're going to see the key terms that are important for this section of Unit 2. So I'm going to make a separate video with examples, definitions, everything you need to know, but we will be talking about them in the video. Super important to know your key terms in AP Hug. The two CED questions that we're going to be looking at in 2.3 are: 1, describe elements of population composition used by geographers, and explain ways that geographers depict and analyze population composition. So I'm going to talk about all the essential knowledge you need to know to be able to be successful on the exam or your Unit 2 test. So before we get started, thanks to everybody who's liked and subscribed the channel, left me comments, sent me emails. I really appreciate it. It really does help me a lot. So please, if you could just leave a comment below, if you can just hit that like button or subscribe if you haven't done so already, that would be really helpful for me. I love making these videos for you guys, and hopefully you're finding them helpful for your unit test, for the AP exam, whatever you're using these to study for. So please help me back if you can by doing that. Okay, let's talk about gender ratio, which is an important demographic measure in population geography. The gender ratio is the number of males per 100 females in a population. So for example, a ratio of 105 means there are 105 males for every 100 females. You'll often see this shown on a population pyramid, where the left side represents males and the right side represents females. Comparing these sides helps geographers spot differences between male and female populations across age groups. Now, what can the gender ratio tell us? Well, it provides insight into demographic patterns, social factors, and gender dynamics. For instance, some countries have more men than women due to migration, such as male workers moving abroad for jobs, or because of cultural preferences and even government policies that favor one gender over another. Uneven gender ratios can have major social effects like challenges in marriage patterns, labor force balance, or population growth rates. So here's a tip. When you see a population pyramid on the AP exam, look at the gender ratio to identify imbalances and connect them to social, economic, or migration trends. So now let's look at age structure, which refers to how a population is divided among different age groups. We usually visualize this with a population pyramid, which shows males on one side and females on the other, and they're divided into 5-year age cohorts. These graphs are incredibly useful for understanding population trends and predicting future changes. There are 3 main shapes you should know. First, expansive pyramids. They have a broad base, which means that there are a lot of young people. This shows high birth rates and often rapid population growth. You're going to see this in many developing countries. The next one is a constrictive pyramid. It has a narrow base, meaning fewer people and lower birth rates. This shape suggests a declining or aging population, common in more developed countries like Japan or Germany. Stationary pyramids are more rectangular, showing roughly equal numbers across most of the age groups, and this indicates stable birth and death rates and a balanced population. Here's a tip. Remember, the shape of the pyramid tells the story of a country's population trend. A wide base means growth, a narrow base means decline, and a rectangular shape means stability. When studying population structure, geographers often look at how age groups are distributed. This helps us understand whether a country's population is growing, stable, or shrinking. So let's look at the 4 main type of age structures you need to know. First, youthful population. These have many young people and few elderly. They're common in countries with high birth rates and high dependency ratios, meaning a large portion of the population depends on a smaller working age group. You'll often see this in developing regions with a rapid population growth. Next, aging population. These have many elderly and fewer young people. They usually occur in countries with low fertility rates and longer life expectancies. This leads to a high dependency ratio among older adults. Japan and Italy are great examples of this pattern. Next one, maturing population. These have a large middle-aged group and fewer young and elderly people. They reflect moderate fertility and moderate dependency ratios. These populations are typically stable, but may soon face aging trends as their middle age groups grow older. And the last one, declining populations. In these, all age groups are shrinking, especially the young. They show low fertility and low dependency ratios and often lead to labor shortages, population decline, and potential economic challenges. Here's a tip. Look at the shape of the population pyramid because that tells the story. A wide base means growth, a narrow base means decline, and a balanced base means stability. Sorry. One of the most important tools in population geography is the population pyramid. A population pyramid is a bar graph that shows how population is distributed by age and gender. Typically, males are shown on the left and females on the right, with a population divided into 5-year cohorts. The youngest age group is at the bottom and the oldest is at the top. Now, why do geographers use population pyramids? Well, they're a key tool for analyzing both the gender ratio and age structure of a population. So by looking at the shape of the pyramid, we can identify major population trends like growth, aging, or decline. For example, a wide base shows high birth rate and rapid population growth. A narrow base shows low birth rates, meaning population may be shrinking. And a rectangular shape indicates stability, where birth and death rates are roughly equal. So remember, the shape is telling you a story. Population pyramids are one of the best visual tools for understanding patterns and predicting future population changes in the country. Population pyramids are one of the most powerful tools for understanding the structure and dynamics of a population. They don't just show age and gender, they reveal a lot more about how a society functions and changes over time. So let's start with dependency ratio. And remember, these are going to be some of your key terms that you need to know. Population pyramids show the balance between people who are working age and those who are dependent, and that would be the very young and the elderly. A wide base and a large top compared to the middle means a high dependency ratio, which can put pressure on the economy and social systems. Now we look at fertility rate. You can estimate fertility by looking at the size of the younger age cohorts, especially women in childbearing age. A broad base indicates high fertility rates, while a narrow base shows lower fertility rates. We also look at mortality rates. By comparing the sizes of older age groups, we can see survival patterns and how long people are living. If upper bars are short, that suggests high mortality or shorter life expectancies. Then we look at gender balance. Each side of the pyramid shows the male to female ratio for each age group. Any imbalance, for example, more men than women in certain age ranges, can reveal the effects of migration, war, or cultural preferences. Next, population predictions. By analyzing the pyramid's shapes, geographers can predict future population size and age structure. For instance, a wide base suggests growth, while a narrow base indicates possible decline. And lastly, population growth. Finally, the overall shape helps us to understand growth trends. A pyramid with large young population is expanding, while one with many older adults is shrinking or stabilizing. On the AP exam, always remember to interpret the shape and proportions of a population pyramid. They reveal not just numbers, but the story of the nation's past, present, and future. Okay, and that is the essential knowledge you need to know to answer the 2 CED questions for 2.3. So describe elements of population composition used by geographers and explain ways that geographers depict and analyze population composition. Hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button for me. Leave me a comment, send me emails. I don't care, whatever you do. I love hearing from all of you. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.